The year is 1274. A massive fleet cuts across the Sea of Japan, hundreds of ships sent by Kublai Khan. On board are Mongol, Chinese and Korean soldiers, united under a single goal, the invasion of Japan. Their first target lies ahead, the small island of Tsushima, a quiet land about to be swallowed by war. On that island, a man prepares for war. Sō Sukekuni, the local governor, gathers what little force he has, around 80 samurai and their retainers. Not an army, not even close, just a handful of warriors, standing in the path of a storm. They know the odds. They know no reinforcements will come. Still, they choose to fight. In the late 13th century, the Mongol Empire was a force of nature. Forged by Genghis Khan and expanded by his descendants, it became the largest land empire in history, a juggernaut that crushed kingdoms from Hungary to China. Cities burned, armies vanished, entire civilizations bent the knee or were erased. By 1271, Kublai Khan had conquered most of China and founded the Yuan dynasty. But his ambition wasn't satisfied. His gaze turned east, across the sea, to Japan, a land untouched, a land unconquered. Japan had long lived in isolation. The emperor ruled in name from Kyoto, but real power rested with the Kamakura shogunate, a warrior society built on discipline, loyalty, and a code later known as Bushido. Their battles were personal, ritualized, a test of individual courage and honor. A warrior's name meant everything. They had never faced anything like what was coming. In 1268, a message arrived, not a greeting, an ultimatum: submit or be invaded. For Kublai Khan, it was routine. For the samurai, it was an insult. Submission was not an option. They refused, silently, firmly. Years passed, but the Khan did not forget. Empires like his did not forgive defiance. By 1274, the invasion was ready. From the Korean peninsula, a fleet of nearly 900 ships set sail, a floating army carrying thousands of soldiers. Some sources say 8,000, others suggest far more, packed into ships, armed for conquest, driven by orders that could not be ignored. Either way, it was overwhelming. Their first stop, Tsushima, a quiet island, a stepping stone between Korea and mainland Japan, a place never meant to face an empire. On November 4th, 1274, the horizon disappeared, blotted out by a forest of masts, an ocean of sails. The invasion had arrived. Panic spread across the island. Villagers fled, fires were lit, warnings shouted across the hills. But Sukekuni did not hesitate. He had around 80 mounted samurai. Against thousands, there was no path to victory, only a choice: surrender or die with honor. He chose honor. As the invaders began landing under the cover of darkness, Sukekuni made one final attempt to communicate, a last chance to avoid bloodshed. His messenger never made it far. Driven back by arrows before a word could be spoken, the answer was clear. There would be no negotiation, only conquest. At dawn, they rode to Komoda Beach. Armor tight, banners raised, not to defend, but to make a stand, a final one. What followed wasn't just a battle. It was a collision of two completely different worlds. The samurai fought as individuals. Warriors rode forward, announcing their name, their lineage, challenging enemies to single combat. Their longbows were precise, deadly, each arrow chosen with intent. Their swords, masterpieces of steel, designed for lethal perfection. But the Mongols fought differently. They moved as one. Disciplined formations, shield walls locking together, war drums echoing across the beach like thunder, commands shouted, orders followed instantly. Their archers fired in coordinated volleys, arrows filling the sky in dark waves. There were no duels, no honor exchanges, no names spoken, only efficiency, only survival. And then came something even worse, something unfamiliar, something terrifying. gunpowder. The Mongols hurled explosive bombs, early weapons known as tetsuho. They detonated with thunderous force, smoke bursting outward, shrapnel tearing through armor and flesh. Noise unlike anything the samurai had ever heard. Horses panicked, lines shattered. The ground shook with each explosion. The battlefield descended into chaos. Still, the samurai charged again and again, refusing to break. In close combat, they were devastating, their skill unmatched, their strikes precise. Some accounts claim a single warrior cut down dozens of enemies, maybe exaggerated, maybe not. In that chaos, anything felt possible. Sukekuni led from the front, not behind, not hidden. Every charge, a defiance of reality itself. But courage could not stop numbers. For every Mongol that fell, more took his place. Endless, unstoppable. The samurai were surrounded, pressed back, cut down where they stood. Still, they did not retreat, not one step. As the battle wore on, the beach became a graveyard. Bodies scattered across the sand, armor broken, banners fallen, the sound of steel slowly fading. With only a handful of men left, Sukekuni prepared for one final charge. No plan, no escape, no hope of survival, just one last act of defiance. They rode straight into the enemy, into the storm, and there, Sukekuni fell. By sunset, it was over. Nearly all 80 samurai lay dead, their stand finished, their story just beginning. Tsushima burned, villages destroyed, homes reduced to ash, civilians slaughtered without mercy. The Mongols moved on. Next stop, Iki Island. Another stand, another doomed defense, another massacre. The road to mainland Japan was open. Nothing stood in their way. But Tsushima had done something important. Something far greater than victory. A few survivors escaped, slipping away by boat under the cover of chaos, carrying a warning: the Mongols are coming. That message reached Japan, and everything changed. When the invasion force arrived at Hakata Bay, they didn't find an unprepared nation. They found resistance, organized, adapted, ready. The samurai had learned, painfully. No more duels, no more tradition, only survival. They built defenses, stone walls rising along the shore. They launched night raids, striking ships in the darkness, vanishing before dawn. The Mongols struggled to secure a foothold. For the first time, they were being pushed back. Then, the storm came. A massive typhoon, violent, unforgiving. The Japanese would call it kamikaze, the divine wind. Ships shattered against each other, wood splintered, men thrown into the sea, armor dragging them beneath the waves. The invasion collapsed. Kublai Khan would try again in 1281, an even larger force, more ships, more men, more ambition. But Japan was ready. Walls lined the coast, defenses stronger than ever, and once again, the storm returned. Stronger, deadlier, final. The fleet was destroyed, scattered across the seafloor. The invasion failed, forever, and the story of Tsushima lived on. Militarily, it was a defeat. A small force, wiped out. But something else was born on that beach. Something far more powerful. A legend, 80 samurai against thousands, a fight they were destined to lose, but a story they were certain to win.